that time when we look at travel updates. I know everyone's getting itchy feet. Everyone wants to be up and away, especially with the restrictions easing and the introduction of the COVID-19 vaccine. But it's been handed down in phases. But who else but Tanvi Goyal from Oz India Travels to tell us all about that. So Tanvi, once again, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Umeshji. Thank you everyone for listening to us on Australian Indian Radio. Today's our 18th episode, 19th episode. We have already crossed 18. Sorry guys, I'm a bit emotional today. Really heard some very bad news and heard a lot of people who were crying. So yeah, you might see that I'm a little low today, but I'll still try my best to get you updates, throughout the way. So before we go ahead, I'd like to inform you all that all information we provide today are general information only. For all up-to-date information, please check the relevant website because rules and regulations may change anytime.
Yes, of course, all the information provided is general information only. For individual cases, you'll need to contact Tanvi or your travel agent if that's the way you feel. But there are so many things that are happening. So, Tanvi, what are the main updates for this week?
Okay, so guys, before we go ahead, I would like to say happy journey to everyone who are flying tomorrow from our 5th Brisbane charter on 26th of February. That's really amazing to see. And I'll be seeing you all at the airport right there with you all in around just 24 hours. So please stay safe. I'll be briefing some more things in the tips section, what all you need to do, the last minute things. If you're all listening, those who are flying tomorrow. So definitely congratulations. Finally, you are going tomorrow. And further up in the main updates. So I would like to ask you all, have you recently heard or what are the world's best beaches? So I'm not talking about only Australia or a particular country. I'm talking about world best beaches. So there was a recent survey happened, and according to Travel Choice Best of Best Awards for Beach, that Australia is one of them as well. In fact, not one of them. Australia is number one as per their recent research. And in fact, not only Australia, Queensland Beach is number one. So the number one beach is, guys, Whitehaven Beach in Queensland. They are the winner of 2021. In fact, there was a little Southern Trip Advisor as well. And there were 2,391 people have reviewed. And 2,000 out of that 2,400 people, 2,000 people have reviewed this particular beach as an excellent ranking beach around the world. So this is number one. And also you will be very happy to know, those who are in Australia, that there are two. In fact, there is another beach in Australia which is number 6. We're talking about the whole world ranking. Top 10 beaches you might see on the screen as well. So number one, as I mentioned, Whitehaven Beach, that's Whitsunday Islands, Australia. Then second one is from Cuba, that's Santa Maria Beach. Baidu Sancho is in Brazil. Then we got Grey Bay Beach, that's in Turks and Caicos. Then in Florida, we got Saint Pete Beach, that's number 5. Number 6 is in Australia, that's called Turquoise Bay in Australia, that's number 6. Number 7th in Aruba, that's called Eagle Beach. Number 8th is in Italy, that's called Spaglia di Contelli. Sorry if I have not pronounced it well. Number 9th in Hawaii, and that's called Kianapali Beach. And number 10 is in Brazil, that's called Baía dos Golfinhos, something like that. So guys, once everything opens up, what are the best beaches. You have to travel around the world. And those who are in Australia, you already have 2 options. And as Umeji said, things are easing up day by day. So yes, you have really great beaches around, and Queensland as well, guys. Those who are listening to us from Sydney, Melbourne, another part of Australia, you have to come to Queensland and visit this particular beach. Second up, guys, is another amazing news that maybe you, if you are too much on Facebook or social media, you might heard there were really a big event happened a few days back, and that was about the Outlook Queensland tourism, because they have featured some new 12 new road trips itineraries. There was a really big event happened a few days back, and And the highlights are they have actually made a pathway or a trip which got around the total kilometers around 1437 kilometers journey that's with Brisbane and visiting the St. George balloon and some part of that, and also including Australian dinosaur trial following the giant footstep of the prehistoric creatures that once roamed the outback, and then also including Richmond, Winton, and so many outbacks places as well. So there are 12 itineraries which are being proposed, and if you want more details about that, or you want the proper itineraries where you can go, you can always ask. And we are happy to send you the whole guide how you can do amazing full 12 trips to see the outback Queensland. So that's about this one, which really looks very amazing. Third up is guys from Jetstar. I think those who are in Queensland, if you are following our premier here, Anesthesia, she has also mentioned about the tourism boost in Queensland, and that's part of that, where Jetstar is has announced some new direct flights from Sydney to Hervey Bay. A move launched in the partnership with Queensland Government and Fraser Coast Regional Council, and they are going to start those flights from end of May. And this flight will operate 3 times a week, offering around 1,100 seats weekly. So it's just a beginning, guys. That things are moving in terms of tourism, and also how can we forget that the Easter is coming, and there are so many airlines and governments and all around the country they are already preparing for Easter, so you guys can move easily. So Virgin Australia has recently introduce some more flights. So they basically have launched 2 new routes up to frequencies to cater the demand for Easter. That means you will have a lot more options and more cheaper options as well during Easter. So you can definitely plan. And they got some direct links between Adelaide and Sunshine Coast, Melbourne to Ballina, Byron Bay, and they'll be operating between 20th of March to 25th of April, which means there are some special flights are being introduced just for you guys, so you can move around and have better Easter. And if you look at the price wise, the price is around $129 one way. It's a economy flight, and they're also planning to add some more sectors such as Cairns, Hamilton Island, Hobart, Gold Coast, Launceston, Rome. There are so many other flights also they're planning to add. So this is just a tailor for you that yes, there are some flights coming up. And guess what? After the Jetstar and Virgin Australia launch, Qantas is not behind. So Qantas also came up and said, okay, for Easter period, we're going to have some new routes as well. So they said, okay, we'll have 3 new routes. So they are planning to have or boost more capacity in New South Wales North Coast. These flights are commencing from 1st April 2021. Airlines will operate daily flights from Melbourne to Coffs Harbour, Brisbane to Coffs Harbour at least 4 times a week, then Canberra to Byron Bay, and there will be a lot more flights coming up in July as well, and it depends as per the demand. But as you can understand, that all airlines are preparing for Easter and upcoming months, and there'll be a lot more flights and a lot more new routes. So you don't have to really go via different cities, while you can have a different direct cheaper flights and less journey time as well. So these are mainly for the domestic flights. Another up is from Qatar Airways. So Qatar Airways has come up with really a good idea. They call it zero touch, which means they are planning to do an in-flight entertainment technology across its fleet A350s as a part of airline latest COVID-19 safety measures. So what will happen is now you will be able to pair your personal device to the seat back in flight entertainment screening. So, and there'll be a QR code which you just scan like you generally do going to any place and telling them that you are here. So same way, you just do a QR code and you'll be able to pair your device to the flight screen. and they are planning that one. And also, you'll be able to pair on Bluetooth with the passenger sitting in in business class or a different sitting, and it will give you a really peace of mind as well, that you have some certain things in your phone which you can see in the flight. So this is really a cool idea. They have not informed the launch date as yet, but definitely in plan, and really good to see that there are new things are coming. As Umeshji said before as well, necessity is the mother of invention. I think that's what COVID really came up with. And there is another really amazing news which I recently heard is from Thailand. So Thailand welcomed, actually, if you guys probably know that Thailand is also very famous for golfers, especially those from South Korea comes every year to just play golf in Thailand. And just for your information, in 2019, there were more than 250,000 people just came to Thailand to play golf, right? Okay, so this time they have done a trial to see that what can be done while the whole world is shut. So they have came up with really a good idea, where they call these golfers to the country in Thailand. So last week there were 40 South Korean came to Thailand, and they are undergoing quarantine at Attaya Country Club. That's just 1 hour from Bangkok. And they were tested when they came to the country straight away. But guess what? When they are quarantined, they can play the game. So just after 3 days, they'll be tested again. And right there, they'll be able to play the golf for remaining days. They will be tested again on 13th day. And after, if they are still negative, and on the 14th day onwards, they'll be able to go out and, enjoy the country. So as you can imagine, that where things were shut, they just found the place and where people can quarantine and also enjoy, whatever they love for. So I think it's really very good and very cool idea that which they have implemented. And just to give you an idea, guys, generally for this kind of tours for 15 days, these people are spending around $4,000. I'm talking about Australian, around $4,000 for 15 days, which includes their meal, definitely not the flight, but meals. But still, I think it's a really very cool idea that they can come and enjoy what they like. And not only this particular one, they are planning to add 6 more clubs like that in next few months, and planning to encourage and invite all these people who visited 2019 to come up and enjoy the golf. So if you are a golf lover, you have option to go to Thailand and do enjoy any of these clubs. So and I have got just one more update. In the main one is SIA also injects inject support of Singapore Airlines to deliver the COVID-19 vaccine to Sydney this week. So I was just reading the interview of Singapore Airlines Vice President Philip Koh as well, and he said he's the company or the airlines is really very happy because they have celebrated a lot of first in their life. They've done a lot of things for the first time, but this is something which they'll probably remember for the rest of their life, that they brought the vaccine to Australia, to Sydney recently. So that's about it in the main update, Umeshji.
And that is wonderful news that, they were the first to bring that vaccine there. It is, amongst many things that will go down in history, as they say. And it's wonderful to see that so many things are, beginning to happen, and especially that new technology where you pair up your, device to the things. So that's the way of the future. Like, before no one wanted to tell anyone where they are, what now everyone freely gives in that information. The QR code, the tracing, everyone knows exactly where you are, or even government, for that reason, they can trace where people have been. And that's the whole idea about the contract tracing. So that's wonderful. And and I think one of the very good things that you mentioned there is about Easter and planning for that. So, people really need to get into gear and start thinking about that and planning. So, that's thinking ahead. That was a very good point that you raised there about Easter as well. Well, right now, if people are planning flights and if they want to move around, so what are the options from Brisbane? As we know, and before we go into that, we know that things might change as things happen, but we're talking about now. So, if someone's planning something now, what are the options from Brisbane?
Okay, so Umeshji from Brisbane, as I said, there is one flight flying tomorrow. After this, a direct option from Brisbane is, guys, on 18th of March. That particular flight is really unbelievable price. That's triple night, so $999 is starting fare for that. And we can connect you to any country, any city around the country in India. So you can take that one. If you can't take that, you can take any of the Emirates flight. But Emirates flight, I would probably recommend you to take Friday flights, because it seems the Friday flights are not that much cancelling, and also the long haul ones. I could see that there are some people who are insisting to book the short haul ones. But seeing there are a couple of flights also cancelled last week, those who have booked the short haul options. So Emirates option is there. You can connect from any city to any city, but please take the long haul options, and on Fridays are most recommended. And also, if you want to fly from any of those cities, via Melbourne or Sydney, we have quite a few connections already made. So next available is on 4th of March. We got via Sydney. 11th of March, we got via Melbourne, 13th March, 25th of March, and 27th of March. So there are quite a few options for anyone flying from Brisbane. Either you can go direct from Brisbane, Emirates, or you can go via Melbourne or Sydney.
It's good to see that there's quite a few options that are available and opening at this moment. Okay, so next up, looking at Sydney. So what's their options at this point in time?
Okay, so from Sydney, we have pretty much at least one flight a week if you talk about charter-wise. And the dates are 4th of March, 13th of March, 18th of March, and 27th of March. So that's pretty much one flight a week charter-wise. And also we have a Vande Bharat mission flights happening. So 1st of March, 18th of March, 15th of March, and 22nd of March. Just remember the price-wise, the charter fares, it starts around $1,000 or $1,099 depending on the luggage you take, and for Vande Bharat mission flights are around $1,800. So, but yes, you have enough options at this stage from Sydney.
The options are there, and especially from Sydney as well. And ladies and gentlemen, as we mentioned before, that the options could change. So please always check the website and always be in touch with Tanvi. Well, right now, one of our favorite sports, Melbourne. So what's happening with Melbourne? What's their status?
Okay, so from Melbourne, guys, we have again plenty of flights. There are just two Singapore Airlines flights left at this stage. First is 5th of March and then 19th of March. 5th March is almost sold out. I think we hardly have 2-3 seats left at this stage. But yes, 19th March is still available. And if there's demand, then we might have more Singapore Airlines flight coming up from Melbourne in April. And also we have a Sri Lankan Airlines flight. Next up is 6th of March, 11th of March, 20th of March, and 25th of March, which means you have pretty much one flight a week, at least from Melbourne. And also if you want to fly with Emirates, let's say to Kolkata, to Ahmedabad, if you want to have just one stop option, you can take it. There is no problem at all.
So that is wonderful that they can have that one-stop option as well if they really. Tanvi, I think you've got the length and breadth of Australia covered. So let's go across to Adelaide and see what their flight status are.
Okay, so from Adelaide, Umeshji, we have done few connections. Like I mentioned before, there is no direct charter from Adelaide, but we have connected those charter via Melbourne or Sydney. So next available, we can give you guys our 5th of March. So flight will be, let's say Adelaide to Melbourne, and then Melbourne to Delhi. And from Delhi, if you're going to different city, let's say you're going to Madurai, you're going to Jaipur, you're going to maybe Chandigarh or any other city, we can connect that. That's not a problem. And we have 11th of March, 19th of March, and 25th of March. So pretty much every week we got connection from Adelaide to India at this stage.
Much got that covered. Right now, what about Perth? So we can't leave Western Australia out.
Yeah. So from Perth, guys, we have got 3 connections. So first is 4th of March, 11th of March, and 25th of March. Once again, there is no direct flight from Perth, but you can always take flight via Melbourne or Sydney, or you might take some Emirates connections as well if you like to.
Of course, we know that Perth being in the other end, sometimes if you're going to Fiji, you can go to Fiji quicker than you can. It takes to get to Perth on the other side.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on. What are the updates? As we know, people have been waiting and have been waitlisted and to come from India to Australia. What's the update in that sector?
Umeshji, it's really moving fast, I would say, in last few weeks. I have heard a lot of new news. In fact, I was really very surprised and happy to see that there was a special charter, a special Vande Bharat mission flight was organized just for Brisbane. So Delhi to Brisbane is coming on 27th February. They had actually booking opened. In fact, we shared on our page as well as soon as we heard about it. So Brisbane time 7:30 p.m. on 22nd February, the flight bookings opened. Just for half an hour and flight was gone. And I think that's probably the first Air India chartered flight, Vande Bharat mission flight coming to Brisbane just tomorrow. So, which is great. Day after tomorrow, actually. And also there are, as I mentioned before, there are some more Vande Bharat mission flights coming. So next up is 7th of March, 14th of March and 25th, 1st of March. So guys, generally, just to give you an idea how you have to book it. So please keep checking our Facebook page or Australian Stuck in India Facebook page or DFAT emails. You would know when they are opening the the booking link. Generally, to give you a tentative idea, it's generally open 5 to 7 days before the departure. So you have to keep looking what time they're opening in and be ready with your card and all the details handy so you can book it. And happily, I've seen really many passengers in last few days while I was observing and checking what's happening, that many people got successful in booking those flights. So which is really great. One more thing, guys, which I spoke to one of the passenger who booked that 27th February Delhi-Brisbane flight, told me is that he put all the details and put all the card, and that time nothing came up, but he called the Air India and next day suddenly his ticket came up. So sometimes just be prepared for it, that don't worry if the money is gone from your card. You can always contact, because when they deduct from your card, you can see the airline's name is there or whoever charged your card. So if they have deducted money, in most cases, that means you have become successful getting your ticket. So that means it's a good news. Now, as I mentioned last week as well, that there are some more charters coming from India, and next available is on 1st of March. And I think for 1st of March, most probably today or tomorrow, they're going to start the booking. Keep checking our page once again in case they prepone it. But this particular charter will be Mumbai to Sydney. To give you an idea, the economy fare is around $4,800 minimum. It may go around $5,000, and for business class, the fare is around $7,000. You might also see when you see the booking page, sometimes they just open the business class option, and if you think you really have to come, you can just book that option. And also keep looking, and if you have not registered with DFAT, you have to register with Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. And you can also email it to them. We'll be probably writing those email IDs to you. So once you apply there, and if you are really very keen to come back, please write them in email as well, saying that you are, whatever conditions you are on. That you want to come back. So one of the email ID, I'll read it out for you. It's AHC, so Alpha Hotel Charlie .newdelhi@dfat.gov.au. So please write it to them so they know that you were there and you are happy to come back. So these are the main updates for India to Australia, Umeshji.
Wow, so that's really moving, and I think it is good that people have been successful in booking those ones. So as you have mentioned there, rightfully, that they need to be vigilant and need to be on top of things and make sure that you're keeping on top of things. Otherwise, you might miss out. Well, okay, having gone through all that, which is exciting, good to see some movement and some exciting things happening slowly, getting back to some sort of normality. So during these times, and people especially associated with travel, of course, is what are your tips for the current time?
Guys, as I always mention, hopefully in last all 18 episodes, I always said, please keep checking the recent rules and regulations. So that will be definitely number one tip, probably every day or every few days, or especially when you're flying. So just to give you a little update, that on 22nd of Feb, just few days back, Air Suvidha website, where you have to fill the mandatory forms, self-reporting, self-exemption form, they have made some changes as well. So just to go through those changes with you is they have made it mandatory to post or upload COVID test report as well in self-reporting form. Earlier, it used to be only in self-exemption form. So AIRS would be the L self-exemption form. It used to be always mandatory, but now on, you have to upload that report in self-reporting form as well. There is another update which came up here is now on, it's mandatory for every single person, including infant, to go through the COVID test. Otherwise, airlines might deny your entry as well. They might not let you board the flight because, as you probably know, a few weeks back also we said, if you're not able to get the result on time, you get it once you reach India. There was option that you reach to the Delhi airport or whatever airport you're landing, and they were giving you option that you can do the COVID test there, and then once you get the result in 3-4 hours, you can go home. So please remember that new update, which is you have to do the COVID test before you leave. Otherwise, you won't be able to go. And also, you have to do it for infants as well. I have myself sent a lot of infants previously because parents are always scared to do the COVID test on little babies. But now on, seems they are not. Not exempting anyone. Seems everyone needs to do it, and I know many people who are flying tomorrow. There are so many infants in that batch, so please make sure you do the the COVID test for infants as well. Another thing, guys, I want to give you a tip is don't forget your face mask. In fact, keep one always in your bag. I have seen in last starter as well last week where the companions or the person who was traveling was denied that he cannot go and he has to arrange the mask instantly. So please don't forget the face mask, even though airlines will give you all the PP kit, but it is mandatory to have your face mask whenever you're entering an airport or premises, and it's for the companions as well, those who are dropping. And also, please don't bring the whole family when you're coming to drop the passengers, because sometimes it just gets really very difficult. It was overcrowded in Brisbane also last month. So please just have one person or in maximum 2 people, and try to avoid to bring the small children, because children just goes here and there and there will be chances of more contact. And another thing is about the forms. So please don't worry if you fill all these forms, self-reporting form or self-exemption forms, and they reject you. So you probably remember, I have probably spoke this in all last 18 episodes, that please don't worry about, and I'm telling you again because I hear every single day that people are scared and because they were rejected. I have seen people who have even applied 6 times and got rejected, and 7 times they were approved. So please don't worry about it. As soon as you get your report, just keep applying. And if you have taken any domestic flight, those who are going via Melbourne, Sydney, don't forget to do the web check-in. It is very, very important. Sometimes they may change the times, they may cancel the flight, so you have substitute. If you have booked through us, we'll always contact you, but it's always good for you as well to do the web check-in, just to remind you. And just one more reminder, if you have not registered with DFAT yet, please register yourself. It is very, very important. And last but not least, thank you so much for your overwhelming response. And this is our 19th episode. Please go through all the 18 episodes we have done. There are always some information. If you like this particular session or episode today, please don't forget to share with your family and friends. You can, send the link to your friends on WhatsApp as well. You can find this video on Australian Indian Radio, Brisbane Indian Times, Tentis Media, their YouTube pages, or Oz India Travel YouTube and Facebook page as well. Or you can just message us. We can send you a link. So that's about it, guys, about the tips. And please, thank you so much for response on the quiz last week. That was really great to see. On the screen, you can see the answers as well. And please let us know, those who have not told us yet, that how many answers you got correct. So you have answers here right now. And you can see all the reviews as well, which we had previously. And you have flown with us before. Please don't forget to tell us how about your experience. That always help us to get you better information. And tell us about these episodes as well if you want us to add anything in those episodes. So we'll try to make it more interactive and better for you for next time. Amazing.
And thank you very much for that, Tanvi. Yeah, and as she has mentioned that, if there's anything that you would like to see on the show, please do let us know, and we'll adopt it accordingly, so that, because this is your show, and it needs to be for your benefit, and there may be things that we might be missing, who knows. So we do encourage your feedback, and don't worry, we won't be offended, but we'll take that on the chin, and we'll make those improvements and incorporate those in the program as well. If there's any particular information or any things that we should be touching on, that would be interesting. And of course, Tanvi, as you mentioned about the testing, and that's what I've been saying from the very beginning, that maybe the way to handle this, from the very beginning, was if they had proper testing systems rather than just waiting for the vaccine. Of course, that's the main thing, to get the vaccine and so that we can control it. If they had come up with a mechanism where they could, have a very quick turnaround on testing, then it could have been what they're doing now, that everyone gets tested, and if you are okay, you get on a flight. That could have been one of the ways. But anyway, thank you so much for that wonderful and very informative session, very, very relevant for what's happening right now. And to all our listeners, one of the points that I'd like to make is that, with the recent crackdown on some of the news channels, our channels got affected as well. But we have alternate channels where we have been streaming, and we have been in talks with Facebook. Yes, directly we're talking with them. They've given us an account manager, and good news is either today or by tomorrow our pages will be revived or restored. So that is good news, so that we can go back on our multiple platforms, because people know those platforms, and the new ones, that we have to guide them there. So if there has been any inconvenience to anyone, our apologies for that. But as Tanvi mentioned, there are many platforms where all these the episodes are there. All 19 episodes, you can go back and have a look, and get any information that you need. Once again, thank you very much for being in the show and sharing that wonderful, very informative session with everyone.
Thank you so much, everyone. And once again, if you have any questions, feel free to call us. Very proud to say, it doesn't matter where you have booked. In fact, we are getting calls every other day, people asking that we have booked somewhere, we don't have enough information. We are happy to give you. You can message us, you can call us, you can jump on our website and leave your details, and we are happy to give you a call back.
Thank you very much. Until next time, it's goodbye. Jai Hind.
Goodbye. Thank you. Stay safe. Jai Hind.